Pokemon is not what it used to be. I've been a Pokemon fan pretty much my entire life, and I would put it at the very top of my favorite series. There is always something new to look forward to with Pokemon because they are releasing new games almost every year. Like, they are just constantly feeding us content, and I have always been there for it. It was always the most exciting thing to me when a new game dropped. The whole idea of diving into a brand new region with all new Pokemon to discover, new stories, new challenges. In fact, some of my favorite gaming memories are from Pokemon release weeks. Like when X and Y first dropped. That day was literally like Christmas. That first experience of starting up the adventure in Kalos for myself and seeing Pokemon in 3D for the first time was amazing. The world was so pretty with so much to see and do. The new Pokemon designs were top tier, honestly. I mean, this game gave us Gumi, and that alone is worth celebrating. And they brought so many new features like character customization for the first time ever. Look, I'm a sucker for character customization. You can bet that I spent so long in these clothing stores just gazing at those outfits that were so expensive, but so cute. And other new features like the new fairy typing. Not to mention Mega Evolutions, which was huge at the time. And still honestly the best gimmick that they've ever come up with, no competition. And then any breaks that I took from playing the game, I would be talking to my friends about the game. Like, my brain was no thoughts, only Pokemon. It's moments like these that make me love the series so much. And sure, X and Y has its areas where it's lacking too, like the story. And the fact that this game was the start of the hand-holding in Pokemon suddenly getting way more intense. And the games in general suddenly getting a lot easier. I just chose to bring it up because it's the most recent game to have this much of an impact on me. So now let's take a look at Scarlet and Violet because those are the most recent games. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Honkai Impact 3rd. After I recently got back into Genshin Impact, a lot of you guys told me that I should try out Honkai Impact 3rd too. And now I'm so excited to be trying it out for the first time. If you don't know, Honkai Impact 3rd is a 3D anime action game set in this stunning world with so much story and exploration to discover. It's also completely open world and cross-platform too. In this game, it feels like you never run out of things to do, and they are still coming out with new content. Take for example the newest 7.1 update, which introduced new stories, new events such as Starry Voyage, Strike Back, new UI and storage optimization, which is such a huge upgrade. The menus look so clean and nice, and they feel even better than before to navigate. And not to mention the brand new battlesuit for Grisel, Cosmic Expression. I just love this design so much. Am I biased towards blue-haired anime girls? Maybe. But I also really love the design for the Hershey of Sentience, who is the 8th Hershey with a very pretty design and super fun playstyle that you can get for free. She looks like a really interesting character with lots of personality, so I'm excited to find out more about her story. You can also get Starchasm Nyx's new outfit on Fair Clouds for free too. Look, I just really love the character designs in this game. Let me fangirl about these outfits. There's just a lot of fun and exciting things going on in this game. And if you would like to join in and try out Honkai Impact 3rd for yourself, check the link in my video description and be sure to use the code YATASENTI for tons of rewards and more bonus in-game to explore. Thank you again to Honkai Impact 3rd, and now back to the video. The whole idea of these games was so exciting at first. I mean, it was the first ever completely open world Pokemon game. You could go anywhere and see Pokemon just walking around in their natural environments. And as soon as I got the game, I immediately popped it into my Switch, and then... Let's go. What? Yeah, not off to a great start. And this was just a taste of what was to come. The bugginess of this game was unlike anything that I had ever seen from a series as big as Pokemon before. Look, sometimes they would make moments funnier, so I was still having fun. But they really shouldn't have been there. The world in Scarlet and Violet is huge, and you can explore it freely. The problem is that the world doesn't really feel super alive. You can't talk to most of the NPCs, and the ones that you can talk to don't really have anything interesting to say. You can't go into any of these buildings like you could in past games. You can't even go into the stores. They just put a menu up in your face instead. I want to window shop and enter people's homes uninvited. And maybe these are details that more casual players wouldn't care about. But I care. I'm used to Pokemon games feeling so much more full of life. Going back to X and Y again, let's compare it to Lumio City. This city is exciting. You have reasons to explore and talk to people here. And this game is 10 years old now.
What?
It wasn't all negative in Scarlet and Violet though. There were some really great things in these games too. Things like breeding Pokemon is easier than ever. You don't have to travel to the daycare and take thousands of steps to receive eggs anymore. You just start a picnic from anywhere you want and eggs appear based on time instead. So you can sit back and relax while your Pokemon make the eggs for you. We've also got the best rival we've had in a very long time. I just love how her whole deal is that she's already a champion and just got bored. We also got some great new Pokemon designs in this gen, with my personal favorites being Fido and Dashbun. They are just two little bread dogs, I love them. Being able to send your Pokemon out to fight wild Pokemon so that you can gain EXP without needing to fully engage in battles is such a nice time saver and great idea. I don't know if this is the more popular opinion or not, but I personally really like seeing the Pokemon out in the wild instead of the random encounters. It's funny because when I first heard about this change, I thought, wow, it's gonna be so easy to find shinies now. But I'm still the only person I know who hasn't found a random shiny in either Scarlet Violet or Legends Arceus. I just really think that there was more potential behind these games. And it could have benefited so much from having a little extra time put into polishing it. We had Legends Arceus come out in the same year, which by the way was fantastic. Why couldn't this have been Pokemon's only 2022 title? The main reason why I'm thinking about all of this so much is because I just returned to Scarlet to check out the first DLC pack that recently came out. And I gotta say, so this is the second time that Pokemon has done DLC for their games. And both times, the first DLC pack just hasn't been very good. In the first one, for Sword and Shield for example, you're given this little guy Kupfu who's level 10. And to complete the very short story, you have to get him up to at least level 65. So the bulk of my time playing through this DLC was just grinding fighting wild Pokemon for hours. And now, in this newest DLC, we go to the land of Kitakami on a field trip. I honestly had higher hopes for this DLC because the theming of it being centered around Japanese summer festivals seemed really neat. But the gameplay is kinda just going back and forth between two locations, fighting this character Kieran over and over for no real reason. And look, I can appreciate the story with Ogerpon enough, but then when these three Pokemon appear, who are in the story and are made out to be dangerous and powerful, you think, okay, things are getting serious here, we're gonna have to team up with Ogerpon and stop these guys from wreaking havoc on the town. But then all that they do is they go to the town, they eat some food and go their separate ways. And then they just stand there in these random locations, doing absolutely nothing. I'm really not feeling any urgency here to defeat these guys. I hope that you guys know that the only reason why I'm bringing these points up at all is just because I love this series so much and really just want the new titles to be doing it justice. Since the second DLC pack for Sword and Shield was a lot better than the first one, I've got my hopes up that the second DLC pack for Scarlet and Violet will be much better too. I think that Pokemon have built up a lot of fan expectations that they feel like they have to keep on meeting. Like a brand new generation every 3 years with all new Pokemon but also bringing back all of the old Pokemon too. So because of this, they have to make compromises. Like the way how they skip out on animations and give us black screens, and not giving themselves the time they really need to polish the games. It is true that they have many other projects to focus on too, like whenever there's a new game, there's new card collections, new anime, new merchandise, ASMR. Yes, it's a thing. The games are only one of their focuses. One of the reasons Pokemon is so big is because of how they've always kept up with pumping out the new content. They started off with top-down games of 2D sprites, which were a hit every time. But now they've moved on to making these huge open-world games. It took a couple of baby steps to get there, but they are now fully in the deep end. And since it's their first time here, they've still got some problem solving to do. It's obvious that a lot of love goes into these games. I just really think that if the developers could be given a little extra time to spend on each game, the difference would go such a long way. Overall, I still enjoyed Scarlet and Violet, and I can't wait to see what comes next. And that was my little Pokemon retrospective. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and leave me a comment telling me which Pokemon game is your favorite. I want to hear from you. If you would like to watch another one of my videos right now, that would make me very happy. There's one on the screen right now. Why don't you click on it and I'll see you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!